Nate Diaz can always call the UFC his home, and Dana White made sure of that. The UFC CEO recently revealed that he spoke to Diaz 2 days before the UFC 295 pay-per-view event after the Stockton Slugger called to ask for tickets. While they didn't discuss Diaz's career or future fights, White made sure the former UFC star got the passes he needed to attend the event. Diaz is undoubtedly among the most prominent stars ever to grace the UFC octagon and is widely known for his unfettered, honest-to-goodness personality. The Stockton native won the Ultimate Fighter 5 reality show to earn a UFC contract and beat Junior Assuncao on his promotional debut at UFC Fight Night 11 in September 2007. Over his 15-year-long UFC career, Nate Diaz beat world-class fighters like Conor McGregor, Anthony Pettis, and Donald Cerrone. His reputation as a hard-as-nails slugger and unique personality made him an instant fan favorite. He left the UFC after beating Tony Ferguson at UFC 279 in September last year. After his exit, Dana White ensured everyone knew that the UFC would always have a place for Diaz and that it would always be his home. During the recent UFC 295 post-fight presser, White was asked if he's been in contact with the Stockton Slugger. He replied, "He called, 2 days ago to see if he could get some tickets. Of course, he can have tickets, this is his house. He can come back whenever he wants to, but we haven't talked about any fights or anything like that." Nate Diaz recently responded to former WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder, who seemingly expressed an interest in making his MMA debut against the Stockton Slugger. During a recent interview, Wilder opened up about his MMA aspirations and stated that he'd like to fight in the UFC before he retired. Considering he's widely known as the hardest-hitting puncher in boxing, the Alabama native fancies his chances in the cage. The Bronze Bomber recently reiterated his desire to fight an MMA fighter in the cage and expressed an interest in Nate Diaz as an opponent. The Stockton native was quick to accept the fight and took to X to call for the agreements to be written up. He wrote, "Let's get these contracts written up ASAP. Real fight sh*t respect to a real fighter down to fight for real. All love to boxing, but this is different real. Shit LFG 1993.